you don't like this movie, you're a hater.
Look. Ross, you can save a cow. You can save all of them.
Guys, this movie is directed by Zack Snyder. He directed 300, Watchmen, and he's kind of pretty much like the head of this whole DC extended universe thing that they're doing. When the trailer for this movie came out, I was so excited. You got Zack Snyder directing, and I love Watchmen. Plus you got Christopher Nolan and David S. Goyer on the screenplay, so my expectations were just through the roof. And did they meet up? For the most part, yeah, they did. For one, I want to talk about the cast that they got in this movie, because it was like outstanding. Henry Cavill, Michael Shannon, Amy Adams, Lawrence Fishburne, Diane Lane, Kevin Costner, Russell Crowe. I guarantee you 3 out of those 6 or 7 people that I just named have been nominated for Oscars, and the other nigga's Morpheus. So you got a great cast and everybody shows up. Russell Crowe and Kevin Costner in this movie are fucking amazing. Russell Crowe as Space Dad is just like, you can be a god to them. You can go down there, you can save them all. But in the scene where Kevin Costner is showing Clark when he was a kid, when he's showing him the ship that he arrived in, he's just like, if people found out what you could do, the world would go absolutely apeshit. So you need to keep all your powers and shit on the low. But at the same time, I do feel it is like your duty and your purpose to find out where you're from and what you can actually do. And so when he dies, it's actually, you know, it's kind of sad, because he's installed all of his morals and his values into Superman, and he gave him this drive to follow, and so he feels like an actual, like, real father figure. And on top of that, Superman's ghost dad is dead too, so it's like he has nobody but his mom, Martha.
Why did you say that name?
I don't even like Kevin Costner in anything. I really don't. I feel like he's very stiff. Every single one of his lines sound the same. But in this film, man, like, he is such a great Pa Kent. And honestly, I feel like those 2 characters are the 2 strongest characters in the film. They both embody what Superman is all about. But at the same time, I feel like it honestly kind of weakens Superman's character a little bit, because we don't really even take the time to get to know who this Superman is in present day. The movie spends like a lot of time flashing back and forth with Pa Kent. Then there's Amy Adams' character trying to figure out who Superman is. And then on top of that, you still got General Zod on the way. So there's like a lot of moving parts, and we don't really get to spend that much time with Superman himself. There's just a lot of the runtime setting up all these moving parts. And so we don't really get our Superman until the last 30 minutes of the movie. And for me, at that point, like, I could really care less. Like, look at what they did with the first Iron Man movie. Like, they made that character so good. Like, you can name off characteristics about the guy. Like, he's funny, he's charming, he might come off like an arrogant asshole, but at the end of the day, he knows what the right thing is to do. And then let's try and name some characteristics off about this Superman that we have. He's charming. He can fly. He can fly isn't a characteristic trait, it's just something his character can do. Like you see what I'm saying? Like, we really don't get to know who Superman is. We know how he's been brought up with his Kevin Costner dad and his space dad, but we just really don't know who Superman really is. Alright, enough of that. It's a small complaint. The action scenes in this movie, goddamn. For action scenes, this is one of my favorite superhero movies to watch, because the action is so gangster. General Zod and his goons, they're just so ruthless. Michael Shannon as General Zod too is probably better than most of the MCU villains that we have now. His character's just so well written. When he was born, he was told, this is what your purpose is in life and this is what you gotta do. And that's all you have to look forward to. And so that is his life's purpose. And Krypton explodes, and he finds out that he can get it back from Superman because of the Codex and whatever. And so he's like, my sole purpose in life is to protect Krypton, and nothing is gonna stop me from doing that. I don't care what I have to do. And through Michael Shannon's performance, you can just see that drive, that intensity.
I exist only to protect Krypton. That is the sole purpose for which I was born. And every action I take, no matter how violent or how cruel, is for the greater good of my people, my soul. That is what you have taken from me.
The fight in downtown Smallville is some of the most gangster shit I've seen on film. Like, they'll just smash Superman's face in the street. Throwing trains at him and shit. Superman tries to fly away, they grab him by the leg and they just fucking smash him into the ground. It is so dope. It was just so dope because it was like so much more grittier than the shit that we're normally used to. And then the fight with General Zod at the end too is probably some of the most controversial shit that they could have done. But god damn it, if I said that it didn't feed my inner 12-year-old, I'd be lying. Because honestly, the only thing that I've been wanting to see ever since watching Justice League as a little boy, I've just wanted to see Superman in a fight downtown and just watch them just get thrown through buildings. Just left and right, just absolute destruction. But I do think the worst thing that they did in this movie is have Superman snap General Zod's neck. It just... You can't do that. Superman is like the Captain America of this squad. He is a Boy Scout. To the book, always whoop their ass, get them to trial, get them in jail. That's the way things are done. You do not kill because... you just don't. It's wrong. It's the wrong thing to do. That's like Superman, like Rule 1. The entire city is destroyed. Thousands and thousands of people are dead. And then you snap the guy's neck and everything's over. So is that the lesson? Is that the lesson here? Solve your problems with neck snapping? And with the neck snap, what does that really add to his character? We got charming murderer. Like, I get it. General Zod, he was gonna destroy the Earth because he had no more purpose left. He's all pissed off. And that's really the only way they could have stopped him. But at the same time, you could just not write any of that shit in there at all. I don't want to be one of those guys that's like, well, Superman doesn't snap necks. But you know, that's what he stands for. Truth, justice, and the American way. And neck snapping is not the American way. But other than the small character problem and the neck snapping, that's it. It's an entertaining movie, so solid B. I don't think the character flaw and the neck snap warranted a 55 or whatever it has on Rotten Tomatoes. Like, that's an absolute travesty. Alright guys, we got Murder on the Orient Express coming out this weekend, so that's coming. And then we got Batman vs. Superman, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, then we got Justice League next week, so let's hope and pray. Let's pray that the comic book gods and the filmmaking gods, the only gods that I pray to, are with us like they were last week when I was in the theater with Thor Ragnarok, because god damn it, DC needs a win. They need another one, man. It's looking real rough. Wonder Woman could not save the damage done by Batman vs. Superman. Alright guys, like, comment, subscribe, do all the shits, and thanks for watching. Bye.